I first danced with New Adventures back in 1995 when it was still Adventures in Motion Pictures. I created the role of the Swan stranger in Matt's Swan Lake, which was very exciting. Then a couple of years later, I also created the role of the pilot in Matt's Cinderella. I've had lots of highlights of my time with New Adventures, but possibly the most exciting was performing, I think, Swan Lake on Broadway for about 12 or 13 weeks. That was probably the most exciting sort of time that I had with the company, just because of the excitement of being on Broadway and all the kind of people that came to see the show. And yeah, it was really a good time. I've had lots of great moments in my career, dancing some of the roles I did at the Royal Ballet with people like Sylvie Guillaume and Darcy Bustle and my wife Sarah. Also working with some great choreographers like Matt and Billy Forsyth, Will Tuckett. Yeah, and getting the chance to perform all over the world, really, especially with Swan Lake. You know, I've performed many times in Japan. When we first took Swan Lake out there, the reaction was unbelievable. It was phenomenal. That was quite an experience. So there's lots of kind of pinch me moments, but the first night of Swan Lake has to be, I think, the moment, because we didn't know what people were going to make of it and what to expect, and the fact that it turned into this kind of global phenomenon was quite breathtaking for all of us, I think. It's over 20 years since I've created the role of the Swan. It's thrilling to be back working with Matt again. It's brought back lots of memories, but what is particularly exciting for me now is to see a whole new generation of dancers, so much fantastic talent, you know, from established stars of the company through to the sort of the new ones that are just starting out, or, you know, have only been here a couple of years. It's really thrilling to see Matt, you know, getting such a range of talent coming through the company, and he employs so many dancers. It's an amazing thing. The first time I saw Red Shoes, when it was first done, you know, a few years ago, I saw the role of Boris Lermontov and thought, what a great part that would be to tackle. It's the sort of part I haven't really had the chance to play very much, that kind of leading figure. I was intrigued by the sort of the closeness to Diaghilev, the famous ballet impresario, and having read a lot about Diaghilev, people always talk about his charm, how he could charm anybody into anything and talk anybody into anything. And I was intrigued by bringing that charm into the role, but also this man who can be incredibly cruel as well, to get what he achieves, or he wants to achieve from people. So I thought all these elements together, it would be, you know, a fantastic role to tackle for me. So yeah, I'm just thrilled that I'm getting the chance now. So preparation for this role has been a lot of reading, a lot of watching videos of the era, but more specifically about Diaghilev, the impresario, and his company, and just how the whole thing ran, how people reacted to him. I read his biography, and it's fascinating. And then in terms of rehearsal, it's about discovering the characters, which takes a long time, and even when we start performing it more, it will grow and grow and grow as the run goes on, because it's a complex character that has two sides to him. He has a public side, he has a private side, and to try and get all of that across to the audience is quite a challenge. So that's kind of what I'm working on, and will continue to work on as we go through the run. My favourite moment in the Red Shoes is probably, that's a difficult one. There's so many. I think probably this, for me, the series of scenes that take place in Lermontov's room, because that's where you see the inner side, the inner turmoil of the man in a way that you don't in any of the other scenes. The first scene in his solo, you see the grief and the pain he's going through, and the fact that Vicky has left the company. And then in the second scene, when Dimitri enters, then you see the kind of conclusion when she comes back and what that means to him. And I think that's one of the most satisfying scenes to play.